happy tea time!
Hey everybody! Welcome to Tea Time with Two Epic Reads. This is our 75th episode.
Cheers!
Cheers! We will explain our ensembles and Gatorade soon, but in this episode we are talking about books that make you want to work out. Our book club pick of the week is SABRIEL, so we'll be discussing that.
So excited!
New releases, and then who is your John Hughes boyfriend?
Oh, it's going to be a fun tea time.
It is a fun tea
time.
So
welcome, sit back, relax. I am on Twitter. If you use the hashtag tea time, I can read it and we can talk through the internet.
And I'm over in happy tea time. There we go. Had an audio on. And I'm over here on YouTube, so checking the comments and seeing what's happening. We are going to start with our question of the week this week, and it comes from Felicity Reads Stuff.
Yes.
Hello, Felicity.
Hello, Felicity.
And her question is, if you could have any animal from any book as a pet, what would it be? We discussed this when the question came in on YouTube, and we both have the same response. But
because we are in the midst of the same book.
Last week we kicked off our SABRIEL readathon. We're going to read all of the books in the Abortion trilogy, and so that we're going to discuss SABRIEL this week. And so we decided that our pet is Mogget.
So, I mean, he's kind of like that sassy cat you want around, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yes.
Cat.
Oh my God. Yes. What was that cat's name?
I can't think of it right now.
It was an S. And it was the name Salem.
Salem. Good. Nailed it.
Yeah. Got that one. Thank you, 90s knowledge.
So that's our animal pick. What is your guys' animal pick?
Are there a lot of
I couldn't think of many more, and I don't know if it's because just Mogget is so heavy in my brain right now, but I had a hard time.
I'm checking in on YouTube here, and everybody's saying hi from where they're from, and we get the Nelson's Way says hi from Orlando.
Hi, what up? I'm from outside of Orlando.
That is awesome.
Cool.
Somebody says hi from Portugal. I
see somebody saying another character that I've never read the books, but I've seen the show, and a direwolf seems like an awesome pet.
Oh, think about all the hair, though.
I know, but they come in handy.
It's true.
In the Game of Thrones.
In the game of life. Somebody said Aslan. That would be kind of awesome to have, like, a tiger, a lion. From Narnia.
It's true. Was he a pet, though?
No, not really.
Kind of like,
not really.
You know.
Everyone is saying dragons. I want a pet dragon. I mean, I would totally take a pet dragon, but I think that would be a little bit of a space issue in New York.
Yeah, and I think that...
A little bit. Oh, people are saying Hedwig. Hedwig.
Oh.
I love owls. Tommy says hi from Fort Myers.
Hi. What up, Florida?
Everybody's...
Rep.
Mariessa S. says, hey from Middle Earth.
I want to go to there.
How are those orcs treating you?
I hope nicely. What are you guys reading? Margot and I, as we said, are both reading SABRIEL. Well, I just finished SABRIEL.
That's last week's read. This week we are reading Lirarel, which is the next book in our readathon. So read it this week, include it in your Tea Time Rewind videos, because we'll be discussing it next week. But this is the second book in the Abortion trilogy. SABRIEL is not in it. This is set after.
I'm getting a little nervous because I'm a slow reader, and I just finished SABRIEL in the nick of time, and it's more. So I'm gonna
you gotta put the pedal to the metal. Look at all these. Look, this is the original.
They're cool.
This is the paperback edition that came out in early 2000s, and then this is the brand new one. Look at those shinies.
These are
shiny
charter
marks.
And if you read the book, you'll know what that means.
So what are you guys reading this week? We're going to check in with Twitter and YouTube.
Jacob is reading Onyx by Jennifer L Armentrout. Greetings from New Mexico.
Everybody, hi from Spain, hi from Canada.
Hi.
All over the world. Everybody seems to be loving those Jennifer L Armentrout books. I have not read any of those.
Brianna is currently reading The Beginning of Everything.
That is...
the book club pick for the month.
And
right?
there's also a really great pet in that book.
Oh yeah, the dog.
The dog is really cool in that.
Look at that. Just bring it all for a
bring circle. It all around.
For a circle.
Leaning Light Set on YouTube says Falling Into Place by Amy Zhang. Very excited. Books and Beyond 28 on YouTube. I'm reading Defiance by C.J. Redmond.
You guys are picking good things.
Gemma Rubio is reading The Fifth Wave. Are you guys excited for that movie? Because I want to see it.
Lauren at Lauren's Books is currently reading The Girl of Fire and Thorns and still waiting for my library to get Sabriel, though.
Girls are good.
Good
ones
to bounce back into.
Lulu de Potato is reading Rebel Belle, which I've been wanting to read because it's got that cool cover with the necklace.
Let's see. What else are people? Hi from Quebec. I will see you at Y'all Fest. I'm reading The One. Hi at ProSof.
We will see you at Y'all Fest.
We're going to be running around like crazy people, but stop us and say hi all the time.
Oh my god, everybody's tweeting everything that they're reading. Somebody's reading Shadow and Bone. Oh, I can't keep up. Okay.
At Alex Quatchsey is reading Cinder by Marissa Meyer.
Love that series. I love that series. It's so much fun. All right, so we're gonna talk quick. We're gonna chat about Sabriel. So if you've read Sabriel,
wait, we have to tell the kids what's new.
No, we're doing this one first.
Oh.
You're not sticking to the schedule, Aubrey. There's a schedule. Look at that. What are you reading?
What are you reading?
We're only allowed to talk about it for 5 minutes.
Literal. Because we ramble.
All right, so we're going to talk about Sabriel because we said we would and because we love it.
Raise your hand, internet hand, if you have read it. This was my first time ever reading it.
I'm so excited for you.
And she, grew up with it.
It came out in the 90s when I was, 10.
Yeah, and I wasn't allowed to read at that point.
So our first question is about the 7 bells. Well, it's not really a question. We're going to discuss the bells. So we have printed out.
So if you guys haven't read it, the bells are basically what Sabriel's weapons are.
Yes.
They are how she fights the dead, and she has this, you can see it on the cover. What is it? It's the bandoliers. This cool thing that she travels around all the time, and she can just whip them out.
So you're going to point to the ones. So the one she's holding is Rana. Rana is, I'm probably mispronouncing all of this.
Oh, I'm glad you're doing this because I would butcher it.
It is the first and the tiniest bell, and it is the sleep bringer, whose sweet low sounds bring in silence in its wake. So basically, if you want to fall asleep and you're like, oh, I'm out of Ambien, bing, Rana.
I need this in my house all the time.
Masriel is the second and a harsh, rowdy bell.
Yeah. Second.
It is the waker. So, in the morning, you're like, oh, wait, Rana put me to sleep. Now I'm like, oh, Masriel, wake me up. It is, let's see, it throws a ringer further into death as it brings the listener into life. So it brings them back.
So a lot of the time she has to go in and, retrieve people that have been put in, a wait. It's kind of like a waiting pattern.
It's between, it's sort of like
the furthest rings of hell.
What's that called?
Death.
No, the in between life and death.
Yeah.
P, something begins with a P.
So there are different tiered levels, and she has stronger bells depending on the need.
Exactly. Kibeth is the walker, a bell of several sounds, a difficult and contrary bell. It can give freedom of movement to one of the dead or walk them through the next gate.
These bells are starting to get real.
And then what Sabriel does is she, each one of them has their own powers, but then if you do them together and, you synchronize them, it's, even, you, amplify it.
I want to see a visual of her bell wielding so bad. If they just made, an action-y shot of her being
So Garth Nix, the author of this glorious series, had these. I don't even know if you have these.
Bells.
It's like this.
That's so cool.
It's a very tiny bell that he had made. They're like these little charms, and then there's a guide to them. I'm gonna put up a blog post that has all of those graphics that we just showed you and the descriptions of the bells because they're actually very fascinating, and it's kind of a cool thing in fantasy to create this magic system, but have it be so intricate and not just 1 or 2 bells. 7
So many bells.
7 bells.
This would be the cutest little necklace for a super YA nerd to put around their neck.
Or for a cat, for your mogget.
For your mogget.
For your little mogget. All right, so question for Sabriel readers. If you were Sabriel, would you trust Mogget? Now, Mogget is, if you haven't read it, is this really sassy cat who can talk, and he's sort of like a guide.
Yeah, she gets thrown upon a world that she's unfamiliar with.
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of shows her through. And like because you would talk lovingly about Maggot before I read it, and I was not expecting him to be kind of a jerk.
Oh, he's such a jerk face. He's literally the epitome of exactly what I think of cats. If every cat could talk, this is exactly how they would sound: sassy, snarky, and a jerk face. But that's why I kind of love him. He's endearing. But I wouldn't trust him.
He's like that angry like family member where you're like, no, I love them. It's how they show love.
But don't ever take his collar off. You cannot take the collar off of Maggot, because if you do, the beast that lives within Maggot is released, and he's gonna kill you.
One of my favorite parts,
I say don't trust Maggot.
One of my favorite parts in the book is because Maggot's under a lot of, obviously because he's a talking cat, but like one of them is he can't really help Sabriel that much with information because of what, but then there's a part where she's on the boat and there's water and he can explain everything, and it's kind of just like, that's where you see a little bit of a softer side where he's like,
well, I think he's always like,
that's why I would trust him. After that,
I trust him in life or death situations, because at the end of the day, Maggot just wants to save his own skin. So if he's going to do something to save himself, you should probably just follow his suit, because it'll lead you to safety. Another great thing that is in Sabriel, which you don't see a lot in YA, is the relationship between Sabriel and her dad, her father, Aborson.
I mean, it's probably the number one like theme relationship of
and
that's what she's grappling with.
Like there's a romance in it, but honestly the relationship in the book for me that's most important is the one that she has with her father, like because he's not really a father figure, because he's not really around. He sends her to boarding school and he's the Aborson, and even though she's sort of an apprentice in training, she's not, but she like it's like
I mean, I think that it's like the journey is to go find and save him.
Right.
And so like she is coming to terms with what her relationship with her father is and what it means, and
if he dies,
what that means.
Right, but also if he dies, she has to take on this enormous responsibility of basically of being the Aborson, of bringing all the dead back, sending them back. And I don't know, I like the relationship that she has with her dad, and there's some really amazing, I wish I should have marked them before tea time, but there's some really great quotes towards the end of like father-daughter quotes. And I remember reading them and just being like, also one of my very favorite romantic quotes of all time comes from Sabriel.
What is it?
I'm super lame, and I like write letters to my boyfriend and I sign them, and with the sentence in there. And
you'll have to tell me after.
I'll tell you guys because it's really sweet. But it is, I love you. I hope you don't mind.
Oh,
but that's really cute. I know, but in the book, I was like, oh my god, this is really cool. I'm gonna steal this.
So we also talked about Sabriel is kind of like the grandmother of like YA heroines. So we wanted to say who would win in a fight,
Katniss
or Sabriel.
Now, this is a legitimately good fight.
Right. Because my first thing when we brought it up, I was like, oh, Katniss, because Sabriel doesn't know.
She doesn't have any weapons. But then I was like, no, Sabriel, because she'd just be like, yo, charter marks, you're done.
Yeah, she can wield magic.
If she can bring dead back to life, don't you think she could also just be like,
haven't read the full arc of her growth, so I don't know.
Well, she's not in any of the other ones.
She's not?
No. The next one, Lirel's about Lirel. I mean, she's sort of in it, but not really. You'll see.
Okay.
That's why it's kind of nice, because
I will see. Then I still vote Katniss would win.
You think Katniss would? I still think Sabriel. Well, okay. Would they have their weapons? Would Sabriel have her bells? Because she can still do charter marks, but really it's the bells.
And would Katniss have her bow and arrow? If you strip them of weapons.
If you strip them of weapons, Sabriel still has the advantage because she can still do magic. Whereas Katniss just has she's cunning, her demeanor.
I just think Katniss is a more confident character.
Oh, did we? Oh, no, it's still going. Oh, okay. Well, see, here's the thing about Sabriel that I think is really great is, whereas in the modern dystopian fantasy stories, you see a lot of characters making mistakes and then trying to go backwards and, like, fix the mistakes. Whereas Sabriel doesn't really make any mistakes, you know?
She doesn't.
She doesn't. She just, the whole book, she's just like, oh, here's obviously the correct decision. I'm going to do that. But does that make her weaker because she doesn't, you know, make mistakes?
Well, yeah, and I think as you read her, she's kind of a character that, like, she's also a very powerful person, but she doesn't know she's powerful, and she's kind of discovering that as she's going along, being like, oh, well, this works.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so is Katniss, really, too. So, interesting discussion. We're going to check in with YouTube and Twitter now. Oh, God, I can't pronounce her name. It says Sabriel, magic, duh.
Duh. Not a lot of people on Twitter have read Sabriel. Join us.
You guys need to join us. Seriously, it's really, really good. It's a classic. Barry Books. Sabriel would totally win. She has magic. See, I'm telling you, magic wins.
I will. The caveat to this is this was made before the modern age of YA, so it takes a little.
When did this come out?
I think to go in.
The Hunger Games came out in. What's the copyright on this? This one came out in 2009, so the first one came out in 2008. This was
1996.
12 years before Katniss was born.
Or 1995, yeah.
13 years before Katniss was born.
So the world does take a longer to, like, get into.
Oh, yeah. If you guys are new readers and you've only read modern YA, stick with Sabriel. It's one of those books that you can't...
It pays off. It's beautiful.
It is. You can't, like, pick it up and read, like, a couple of pages and put it down. You gotta, like, take an hour and, like, make sure you read a good chunk because it deserves it. It's a slower read, but it's worth it.
At Mostly YA Lit says, I'm totally taking the John Hughes quiz while listening to Margot wax lyrical about Sabriel.
Wax on, wax off. Okay, so that is their Sabriel discussion. Next week we are going to talk about Lirarel, so read Sabriel, then read Lirarel, and discuss with us.
Because it's a lot more fun when we can discuss with you.
It is. Okay, so who is your John Hughes boyfriend? There is a link to the quiz in the description below.
You can take it. Who will you pull out? What your Margot and I pre-took this. Pull out who yours is.
Mine is this gorgeous redhead.
Look at his blue eyes.
Keith Nelson. He's just like, oh, okay. Keith Nelson from Some Kind of Wonderful. Apparently, my dream boyfriend is somebody who's really artsy-fartsy and broody, which doesn't surprise me.
Not shocking.
Who'd you get?
And this pinwheel, I got the clear choice for me. Ducky! If you're not a John Hughes fan, Ducky is one of the best John Hughes characters ever, and he's my buddy.
I like that this one we picked the one of him crying.
Do you? Do you? And then he cries like this.
We have, like, the nice thing about this quiz is you kind of get one of each. We've got, like, you know, the loner, brooding, edgy guy. The jock. We've got the artsy, artistic thinker.
The hot, popular guy.
The hottie McHot stuff.
I mean, everybody's got their fingers crossed.
The nerd. And then the cool hipster.
That's me.
It's kind of got them all.
Cool. Let me see if anybody's taking it.
Yeah, is anybody taking the quiz? What did you guys get? I think a lot of people got Jake Ryan, who is...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, where's hottie McHot stuff? Jake Ryan. He was never in any other movies.
Ever?
No.
Jake Ryan, that's a shame.
What are you doing, Jake Ryan? What are you doing with your life? Tell us.
People are saying they really want to read Fangirl. Not Quality Fangirl says, I really, really want to read Sabriel. I have so much to read.
Do it. My BookTube corner on YouTube says, I got Keith too. Air. Tea time high five.
Oh, did anybody get Ducky?
The Katie Star 2 on YouTube, I got Ducky from Pretty in Pink.
Yay!
I'll high five her for you.
I'll share.
Somebody says, Haley Guitardo says, hey, joining a little late because my photography teacher just let us out. Well, refer your photography teacher to us, and we will make sure that doesn't happen again.
Totally.
Totes.
What are the other fun things you can do on the blog? We came back with a book nerd problem.
Yeah. Are you a book sniffer? You know you are.
Oh, this one smells so good.
Does it smell like tears?
My tears? No. It smells good.
It smells like the arena.
Oh.
Book sniffing. Do you do it in public?
A little. Like, I'm like a little.
Just like a little. Like, how can you slyly sniff? You're like, oh, whoops, my bookmark fell into my book. I better get it. Oh, there. Wait, how? Yeah, like let me get it with my mouth. Yeah. And then there's just like the closed sniff. You're just like.
I close sniff after I buy them.
It's like a fine wine. You gotta like let it breathe. Let it breathe.
But not in public.
Or do you do this kind of sniffing?
Ooh, that's hard to do with a paperback.
Or a hardcover. There's so many different. There's
like it.
I would say old book smell over new car smell any day.
Yeah, hands down, hands down.
Totally. You guys should watch that Book Nerd Problems video. It's on our YouTube channel.
Comment on it. Tell us if you sniff and how you sniff.
All right, now it's time to get to our new releases this week. We have 4 beautiful new books this week. Kiss of Broken Glass, oh, I almost said that wrong, by Madeline Kaderick, is a story about suicidal tendencies, cutting.
I mean, yeah.
Cutting. But it's told in verse. So it's a very quick read, very beautiful, very quotable, but it's very insightful and kind of like very real. So good.
I have talked about it a bajillion times. Falling Into Place by Amy Zhang is probably my favorite read of the fall.
Raid?
If not raid.
You got real southern there for a second.
My favorite read of the fall, y'all. I am in love with this book, so if you read it, please tweet me and let's talk about it.
But you might cry, so we're going to put this bookmark in there.
You might cry. Amy Zhang is one of... she's an amazing writer, and she has so much potential, and I love her.
Kirsten White fans, there is a new book out from Kirsten, Illusions of Fate. It is her first historical fiction novel. It is set at turn of the century, alternate worlds. I'm
a big fan of some Kirsten White character sass.
So sassy, so sassy, and funny and smart. But there's magic in this alternate history, and there's birds, and they play a very important role. Plus, there's tea. Look at all the things that are in this teacup. Look at how detailed that is. Have you ever seen that? Other cool things about this. Ready?
Undress it.
Are you ready for it?
Ready? Undress this.
It's going to say Green Willow on the cover.
Oh, yeah, it just says Green Willow, and then there's Pretty Blue.
Ready? Oh, look at that. See, I told you the birds were important. Oh, don't believe me? Wait till you see the chapter headings. Oh, yeah. Look, another bird.
Oh, look. Boom.
Birdies. Birdies everywhere. Super fun. It is classic Kirsten White sass. Out this week in stores everywhere. And we finally have the reason why we are in our workout clothes and bearing our chicken wing arms. Although you've got some good arms there. I've got nothing.
I do Pilates.
Rites of Passage by Joy N. Hensley.
And I saw that she is on.
Oh, hey, Joy.
Hi, Joy.
What's up? So this book is about a girl who enrolls in an all-boys military academy, and she's one of only 4 girls to ever enroll in this school. So first of all, she's got this whole hurdle of just being one of only 4 girls in a previously all-military academy, which is, hard
got a lot
into.
Of issues.
Lots of issues. But then she also has to be able to do everything that everybody else does, even better than them, because everybody's paying attention to her.
That filter, that like microscope is on her.
So she gets singled out and bullied and basically forced to do everything 10 times worse just because she's a girl. But she's a total badass, so she handles it like a pro.
Like, ain't no thing.
It is the first book I've ever read that literally I was like, oof, I need to go to the gym. So we're going to talk about today, while we do whatever these things are called.
I don't know. I just like...
What are they called? Does anybody know? We're going to talk about books that made you want to work out and get in better shape. Have you ever read any? Which ones were they? And what specifically did they make you want to get better at? This one, she does a lot of push-ups and a lot of like hello dollies and swizzer kicks. And so I would like to be able to do push-ups because I can't even do like one.
Yeah, I can't do push-ups either.
Or like pull-ups?
Yeah.
How the hell do you do a pull-up?
I think my book was Divergent made me want to work out immediately, and I think it was more of like a fighting boxing angle.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know how to do any of this, and I would fail.
I feel like Sporty Spice right now.
Peace.
Okay, so
you're actually kind of burning. We made jokes about like, oh, you can lift 5 pounds, but
I have no upper body strength. I'm a soccer player. Everything's down below the booty.
There's also going to be a Rites and Passage.
Oh yeah, a blog post. We made some vines right before tea time of 5 workouts inspired by Rites of Passage, but they are Vine versions, so you know.
See, anybody can work out.
I read, The Hunger Games, since we're talking about it today. That book made me want to be able to run around, because in the first book when she gets into the arena and she just has to like sprint to the cornucopia or just sprint away, I'm like, ooh, I would need to be you would need to be fast as hell to get away from the cornucopia.
Yeah, I guess I just read YA dystopia particularly, and I'm just like, I'm gonna fail.
It is
all of the apocalypse.
It's mostly YA dystopia that makes me want to work out, which is kind of why I really liked Rites of Passage, because it's contemporary, realistic. That made me want to work out. Mm-hmm. Oh, and the author, Joy, I believe she went to a military academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she knows her
Can you tell us how wrong we're doing these workouts?
Oh, we're totally
I go to the gym and I just like look at machines and I'm like, oh, you can do this one? Lauren reads YA, says, I wasn't interested in Rites of Passage until the workout thing. I want it now. Workouts, yeah.
Let me see if I can find, you keep working out.
Okay.
See if I can find a good section.
Burn. Feel the burn. This is actually a really good one for whatever this muscle is called.
Whatever that muscle is.
Also, I appropriately stretched out for this.
So there's this scene, and there's this thing that they make all the recruits do in this book called Smoke Shows, where it's basically like a 4-hour workout where you have to do a push-up, then go down, and they make her just stay. You just have to stay there. And if you like fail, then everybody in your squad has to keep working out for like even longer. And then they have to run like 6 miles to this like uphill. It's just like the whole book I was just like, oh God, I would fail so hard at military academy. So I have so much respect for the girl in the character in the book, and any girl or anyone that can go through a military academy. Oh God. Let's check in with Twitter and YouTube here. Let's see what everybody is saying. Ooh,
there's
somebody said I am number 4. Felicity reads stuff. I am number 4 makes me want to work out.
It's me, Lori. Breathe, Annie, breathe. By Miranda Keeley made me want to go out and run, and nothing ever makes me want to do that.
Lauren Hanna on YouTube also says, breathe, Annie, breathe.
I am not aware of that book.
Do you guys ever read at the gym? I have been known to do the recumbent bike because you can read easily and do the bike at the same time. I like reading at the gym.
I get too distracted reading at the gym.
Natasha Schwinn says, the darkest minds for sure. Yes.
My arms are going to be so sore just from this paltry little pushing of weights here. Oh, Joy! I saw Joy just said you're doing great.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going.
Keep going.
This
is our. So for your Tea Time Rewind videos this week, we challenge your challenge for this week. Last week we challenged you to bedazzle things. This week we challenge you to do your Tea Time Rewind video while you are lifting weights, or just a stack of books if you don't have weights, while you do your rewind video the whole time. That's your challenge. We would do that, but our tea times are like half an hour.
And I almost passed out at a 90-minute Zumba class.
Josephine Rosdam on YouTube says, delirium made me want to go on a long run. Yes.
Oh, yeah, she's a runner.
All those scenes of Hannah going on a run with, oh, God, what's her name? I can't remember what's her name from Delirium. Lena. Yeah, Lena. So, anyway, that is...
We did it. I feel the burn.
Do you feel the burn?
High five.
Oh, sorry. Do you want a power bar?
Yeah.
Look, get a refuel.
Gatorade.
All right. So that is it for this week's Tea Time. Your rewind. So we want to shout out the people who did their rewinds this week.
The Epic Runner.
Oh, nice name for this week's episode. Summer Soaks.
Taya Faith.
Books and Beyond, 28.
Catherine Harden.
Rosary Well Cruise. Thank you guys for posting your Tea Time Rewind videos. They are really fun to watch. And so this week, your challenge is to lift weights or books while you're doing your rewinds. And then your topics of discussion are, what are you reading?
Yeah. I hope it's Lyral.
Discuss SABRIEL or Lyral. It's really discuss SABRIEL, I guess, because we discussed it this week. So SABRIEL. Are you a book sniffer, and what are your favorite books to sniff? And what books make you want to work out? And if you could pick a pet from any book, what would it be? What would it be? That's all she wrote.
Oh, I saw somebody say, tell us about Insurgent.
Oh, yeah, we did go to the Insurgent set.
It was awesome. We got to watch the Thor and Eric fight.
Yes.
There's a lot we have to tell you, but we can't tell you until February.
Yes, Theo was there.
He touched my shoulder. I will say
he did. I'm so jealous.
I will say that we've met them before, and they were normal people.
Yeah.
Then, but then he was, and I was kind of like, oh, my friends kind of look like that. That's fine. And then he was dressed as Thor, and
you're
I
just
couldn't speak. I couldn't speak. Just like, get out of here.
We will tell you more about it soon because we will have a video, so stay tuned for that. But next week, just want to give you a heads up for tea time next week because you should get prepared because next week we're going to teach you how to make a flower arrangement in honor of the release of Made For You by Melissa Marr. So you'll want to get some flowers in advance.
I'm really excited because this is a skill that I don't have at all.
I'm very excited. My mom's a flower arranger, a florist. I guess that's probably the word for it.
All right, workout dirt face.
Oh, yeah, workout dirt face.
Ready?
Okay, ready?
1, 2, 3.
And scene. And we will see you guys next week for our flower arranging episode. We can't wait to watch your Tea Time Rewind videos. Have a lovely week.
Happy tea time.
Book shimmy forever. Okay, let's go like for a real run now.
Okay, let's do it.
To like the
Sprint it
bookstore.
Yeah.